Hello. This video will show users how to use some of the reporting functionality built into RUBudget, Rutgers University's budget planning application. To begin, you must first get into the RUBudget application. After doing so, you will come to a screen like you see in front of you. You can then take your cursor and go to the View pane and click on the Working Budget task list. You can then go down to number 6, Review Overall Budget. For this video, we will be using D, the Working Budget Summary Report. This is a report that will show your budgeted revenues and expenses broken out by natural account. To begin, we can click on the link. If you've never been into this report before, you will come to a screen that looks like this, showing the 2 error messages. Don't worry, this is to be expected. And the reason why it's to be expected is if you look at your point of view, they are set to generic values. We will go through and select each dimension and show you what should be the proper entry. We will begin by location. When you click on the link, you will come to a member selector menu like this. We can click on the plus sign to delve down into a lower level of locations. For this purpose, we will select L1TTT, all locations, and click OK. It'll take a second for the report to refresh. But you now see that there is a location. Same with fund type. Click to expand the fund type. And for this purpose, we're actually going to delve a little deeper and go into unrestricted and go into unrestricted operating and the child level, F100. For business line, like location, we can use a higher level. And so we'll use B_1TTT. Then hit OK. Now the unit is your unit division organization combination. And depending on the level of access you have, you may see just your department, which would be at the UDO level, or your division or your unit. For this example, I'm going to use Central. And the Office of Budget of Resource Studies. And this report will be refreshed in a second. Scenario is budget. And the version is working. Now, I do want to point out that this is a report that you can also use with your sandboxes, and there will be a video on sandboxes coming up. And there is documentation in the user manual on this, but you'll be able to see that you could run this report at your working, proposed, or final versions and the various sandbox versions. You can see that after entering the last dimension in the point of view bar, that I now see the data that I budgeted in the Office of Budget and Resource Studies, the unrestricted operating fund type, all locations, and all business lines. I can then go to the sideways carrots and click on them to drill down to more detail. And you can see that I'm drilling down to the different student tuition fees. Same with allocated support and F&A costs recovered. I can also drill down to the total operating expenses, and the salaries, the cost pools. And I can keep on drilling down till I get to the lowest level in each of these categories. Now, as a tip, you can keep this report open as you budget. And then as you make changes to the budget, you can come back to the report, hit the refresh button, and it will update automatically. So if I go back to the RUBudget task list status, and I have the tuition screen open, I could budget as a tuition inbound another $500,000. Hit save. And if we go back to the working budget summary report, we can click and see that the tuition has increased by that additional $500,000 that we entered. Now, one of the benefits of working with a point of view is that we can change each of the dimensions to go to a higher or lower level. So one example is that I know that I have budgeted other things like restricted funds. I can go to the fund type and change it from F100, unrestricted operating, to a restricted fund type just to see what my grants and endowments, if I have any, are. Click on all funds. There's the restricted parent because it has the RTT. Click on OK, and the report will update. You can see by restricting the fund type that I'm only showing the restricted revenues and expenses. And I can drill down if I wanted to and see exactly what they were. But this is just an example of what you can do with these reports. You can change any of the dimensions to slice and dice your data any way you want. If I wanted to look at an all funds, I could go back to fund type, click all funds, and this should show both my restricted and unrestricted funds. And it does. I could also then drill in by business line or location. Once again, this tool, this report, gives you many ways of looking at the data. And you can do a couple things with this report. You can save it as a PDF by going up to the Open in PDF button. And you could then print it or save it or then email it to somebody. And once again, you can actually change your point of view and actually just keep in this format. Or we can go back to the HTML version and you could download this to a spreadsheet by going to the File menu, Export, Excel, and you can do it in Word or PowerPoint. and up will come an Excel spreadsheet. You need to hit OK. And then the spreadsheet will come up in the same format as what you're showing on the screen. So if you want to show more detail on the screen, you need to go in and click down and drill down to the level you want to show. But these are just some of the examples of what you can do with the reporting. This concludes this video, and we will have other videos on other reports and other advanced functionality within RUBudget, Rutgers University's budgeting application. Thank you.